The man looked at the cucumber in his hand, and immediately grabbed a kitchen knife, waving it in the air. The next second, the cucumber fell evenly into slices. This scene was witnessed by the arriving boss's wife. She instantly realized that the man's identity was not simple, because this perfect slicing of the cucumber could only be achieved after at least 10 years of experience. It turned out that the man was a 3-time champion in a cooking competition. However, his senior brother, wanting to take the title for himself, collaborated with the man's fiancée to poison him. The man, unaware of their plan, was miraculously able to survive, but lost his memory in the process. With nowhere to go, he ended up by a trash can, and was discovered by the boss's wife, who was taking out the trash. Seeing this, the boss's wife, moved by kindness, cooked a bowl of noodles and brought it to him. This small act of kindness later became the turning point for the restaurant during its bankruptcy crisis. The boss's wife kindly took him in as a helper at the restaurant, but the restaurant's head chef, a fat man, always had a problem with him. Not only did he try to make things difficult for the man, but he also destroyed all of the man's work. The man, unable to take it anymore, warned the chef not to push too far, but the chef responded in anger. Fortunately, the boss's wife intervened just in time, and asked the man if he was alright. She then ordered the chef to come up with new dishes. The next day, the boss's wife assigned the man to help in the cold dish section, but once again, the man was met with cold treatment from his mentor. The man had no choice but to endure. At that moment, the mentor announced he had to step out for a while, leaving the man alone in the kitchen. He was inexplicably drawn to the cucumber basket. Unconsciously, his hands began to slice the cucumber with skill. In no time, he had perfectly cut a cucumber flower. After finishing, the man was left in a daze. Just then, the boss's wife entered and was stunned by what she saw. She immediately asked about his true identity, but the man had no memory of his past. The boss's wife didn't press further. She then went to the shop's entrance to call out to potential customers, but the customers ignored her and walked away. At that moment, the seafood supplier came over with a bill. He angrily stated that the seafood bill had been overdue for 3 months, and today, either they pay up or the restaurant would be used to settle the debt. The boss's wife looked troubled, and begged him for a 10-day extension, but the seafood supplier refused, saying he wasn't a charity. The boss's wife reluctantly agreed to figure something out by tonight. Just then, a man with glasses approached. He offered to take over the restaurant and immediately transferred 50,000 yuan to her. The boss's wife refused without hesitation, but the man wasn't upset. He remarked that she had the same stubbornness as her father, and that the restaurant was on the verge of closing within 2 weeks, and by then, she would beg him to buy it. The boss's wife stood firm, stating that she would never sell to him. Meanwhile, the mentor saw the man working at the stove, and quickly rushed over, accusing him of touching the stove carelessly, reminding him that he was just a helper, and dared not act like the head chef. But when his eyes fell on the sliced cucumber, he froze. The mentor picked up the cucumber, inspecting it carefully, and was shocked to realize that such perfect cucumber flower cuts could only be made with over 10 years of expertise. He turned to the man and asked if he had ever worked as a chef. The man looked confused and said he couldn't remember, but whenever he picked up the knife, his body just seemed to do these actions automatically. The mentor then noticed the soup the man was preparing. The man explained it was a seafood stock made from leftovers. The mentor was